Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this live today. And if you're catching this later on as a replay, thank you for watching. Let me start by introducing myself in case you don't know who I am. My name is Dr. Faith Okpotor, and I am the creator and head coach of a program called a college admissions coaching program called CFF College Fully Funded. CFF College Fully Funded is for serious prospective college applicants who are ready to secure admission into US colleges and universities with full funding and avoid debt. Typically, these are students from families who cannot pay for college out of pocket. Okay, so that's that about who I am and our coaching program. So I also want to say that this is live that is going to be happening weekly. It should happen every week at 4 p.m. on Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So today it's 4:45, but starting next week, it will be 4 p.m. Eastern time, unless something happens, in which case I will let you know ahead of time. But please feel free to join me here. Feel free to come with your questions or post questions in the comments, whether you're seeing this live or catching this on the replay, so that I can answer them in the next live. And if you like this channel and my content, please like and subscribe so that other people can also find it and they can get the help that they're looking for. And also, please feel free to share with your friends and your loved ones. Okay, today I am going to talk about how college funding actually works, right? If the goal is college admission with full funding and no debt, what is the funding structure like? How does it work? All right. Okay, so I'm going to start by telling you that there are two kinds of funding, two main buckets of funding, two main types of funding. And it's one of the first things that you should sort of remember. So the first kind of funding is merit aid, right? And the second one is need-based aid. And I'm going to take these one at a time. Merit aid is based, as the name sounds, on academic merit, right? Or other kinds of merit, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's start with academic merit. So academic merit is schools have specific criteria, whether a certain GPA, a certain SAT score, a certain ACT score, a specific kind of academic record, your transcript, all of that. That is that's academic merit. So it's all based on your academic record and specific criteria that each college has or each school has. And then relatedly, also based on merit, different kinds of scholarships or aid for different abilities, right? So different talents or different abilities of things that you can do, also based on merit. So we have, as the most popular, of course, is sports scholarships, right? You're getting that scholarship because you are great at a particular sport. You are one of the best at that sport, and so you get that scholarship. That's merit aid, but it's based on your talent. You're not going to get a football scholarship if you cannot play football. There's no way that's going to happen, right? And so whether it's sports, theater, playing a musical instrument, or other kinds of abilities, also based on merit, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, then there is what we call need-based aid. And need-based aid is based solely on financial need, right? It's based on the idea that you cannot afford to pay for college, or you cannot afford to meet the total cost of attendance. All right. Now, within need-based aid, there are also two kinds. There is the government aid, which is federal financial aid, and in some states, state financial aid. And this is the kind of aid for which you need to complete FAFSA, the free um, uh, free application for federal student aid, FAFSA. All right. So there's that. And Then there is uh, the institutional aid or private aid. And this is the aid that comes from the college itself. And this is mostly from private colleges and from universities. So, um, to get this kind of aid, students typically complete the CSS profile form or other specialized forms like the ISFA, which is used for specific kinds of international students, or any other in-house financial aid form that the school can have. Okay, so uh, need-based aid can be government aid, federal or state, and it can also be institutional aid or private aid, typically in private colleges and universities. Now, within private aid, right, or institutional aid, you also have another categorization. So institutional aid or private aid can either be need blind or need aware. Need blind means that your ability to pay is not taken into consideration when admission decisions are being made. So you send in your application, they take a look at the application. Do we like this person? Great. Now that we've admitted them, we'll hand them over to the financial aid people and they will figure out how to make sure that this person comes here financially. That is need blind. Need aware is your admission decision is affected by your ability to pay. So for need-aware schools, you might be great, but they still might not admit you if they are not able to meet your financial need. So let's say your need is greater than they can afford to meet, then they would not admit you, right? So those are the two kinds of private aid. Now, if you've been following closely, you will see that this funding landscape for college is pretty complex, right? And I've not even addressed outside scholarships, which is beyond the scope of what I'm going to talk about today, but that's another thing on its own, right? So it is no wonder that people get confused about what kind of strategy to follow when pursuing admission with funding. And this is the kind of thing that we do in CFF College Fully Funded. So we're not just helping our students um, present great applications that would lead to admission, but we're also trying to figure out the best funding approach that fits each family. Now, while we follow our framework for a successful college and financial aid application, what works for one family may not necessarily work for another in terms of the kind of aid that we encourage them to pursue and for which they qualify, which of course is based on their financial situation. And every family's financial situation is different. So, for example, a particular student might be most positioned to secure merit aid more than need-based aid. And so we will encourage that student to seek admission in schools that offer that and vice versa. Okay, so if you are applying to state schools, for example, expect state schools, state universities, expect merit scholarships and federal and state financial aid as the main pool of funding to draw from. I'm going to repeat that. If you're applying to state universities and state colleges, right? Think about state flagships like University of Maryland, University of Delaware, University of Massachusetts, right? Um, if you apply to any of those schools, expect mostly merit scholarships and federal and state financial aid as the main pools from which you can draw funding. And if you're applying to private colleges and universities, expect to draw from federal aid, state financial aid when it's available, and also institutional aid, which could possibly include merit scholarships, but not always. Some private schools um, only have need-based aid. So, for example, the Ivy League, it's all need-based. They don't have merit scholarships. Okay, so I hope that you have found this helpful as you continue to think about your college admission and funding strategy. If you're a student or if you're a parent looking at this, as you continue to figure out your college admission and funding strategy for your child. Again, if you like what you've heard, please subscribe and share with a friend or a loved one. Um, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you're seeing this right now or if you're seeing this later, please put them in the comments, and I'll be happy to come back and answer them or answer them in a future live. If you would like to receive specialized guidance in your admissions process, you can check out CFF College Fully Funded. Again, this is our college admissions coaching program for serious prospective college applicants whose families cannot afford to pay for college out of pocket, to help them secure admission with full funding and avoid debt. Again, if you're a serious student who is ready to secure admission with full funding and no debt, CFF College Fully Funded might be for you. We are currently accepting applications for the fall 2026 cohort. So this is for students who will be applying to college later this year. We still have a few spots left. I will put a link to the application page um, in the comments as well as in the description. So if you have any questions, again, like I said, on anything that I discussed today, again, please feel free to put those in the comments, and I would use them for a future live. And also feel free to join me live next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.